This is Flawless Real Talk, and you're watching This50.com.
Yo, what's good? It's DJ Thorough, a.k.a. Thorozano, the bridge to the streets. Right now, you're watching the hottest in the streets right here on This50.com. Like always, I got another special guest in the building.
You know it.
Introduce yourself.
Flawless Real Talk, man. What's up, man? How you doing, DJ
Good,
Thorough?
man. Thanks for
Good to
coming
see you,
through,
man. Thank you for having me,
Flawless.
bro.
Where does that name come from? Flawless.
Man, just striving for, excellence, man, perfection. Always trying to be the best at what I do, no matter what it is, you know what I mean? All around aspects of life. So, we just took that name and ran with it, man, for a long time,
Right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. But where you from? Rhode Island, right?
Rhode Island, Providence, Rhode Island, man. Born and raised.
Born and raised.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm looking at your arm, right? You got the record.
Record player, yeah.
The record player, the mixtape,
Yep.
the musical notes. When I look at that, I'm assuming you're a DJ or mixtape DJ.
Yeah. No, you know what it is? It's I wanted to put a lot of my musical influences on my arm coming up.
Right.
Like this is the Flawless, logo that a lot of my fans have gotten.
Right.
So, we kind of got like a nice family going on to have the brand, so I got that.
Right.
This says dream, and then when you flip it upside down, it says believe.
Okay.
And then the tape and the record player just signify, the eras of hip hop that I was, that I was raised in and studied. You know what I mean? Like I was not in the vinyl era,
right?
But I was influenced a lot by it.
Paying respect to it,
yeah.
right.
So paying respect to the cultures. A lot of kids don't really even know what this is.
Right.
So
right.
It's just paying homage, man, to the people that paved the way.
That's interesting. You brought that up. How old are you?
I'm in my 20s.
You're in your 20s.
Yes, sir.
Well, most young kids, like you said, they don't pay homage. How do you feel about that? About artists that are influential, that are young, but have a lack of respect for people that came before them, as if they invented this culture? How do you feel about that?
I think that it's to each his own. I mean, if any, you can tell the artists that do their history and that have been around in the culture, and you can tell the artists that haven't.
Right.
And some of the more lyrical, talented artists, you can tell they were bred from the older eras.
Right.
The kids now of today that are coming up, they're kind of like missing the main elements of hip hop. So you can tell that they're not really understanding, the essence of where this came from.
Right.
So they don't have a knowledge of it, so they don't pay respect. To them, these people that paved the way aren't really anybody because they don't even know.
Right.
They're kind of like blind to the fact of it,
Right.
So it's important for artists like myself to bring the essence back and remind people of what this is about, what this art truly is about,
Right.
So that's what we're trying to do, man, just shed more light.
Well, speaking of that, I hear that you were so crazy at a performance one night, and Tech N9ne approached you.
Yeah.
Tell everybody about that story.
Well, we did a show. I moved down to Atlanta in 2010.
Right.
And started my label down there because there was more opportunity than Rhode Island. You know
Right.
what I mean? It was bigger for me to be able to capitalize. So we went down there. We started winning competitions and just killing it, and we started getting openings. So Tech came down. We did the opening for him. He just happened to have to go to the bathroom because when you're opening, half the time the artists aren't even there. You know what I mean?
True.
So, or they come in late or whatever. Your job is to captivate that crowd that they bring in to make them your fans. So he happened to have to go to the bathroom. He's creeping through the crowd. We're up there rocking, and he watched the whole show. I get off. He's like, "Look, we got 50 shows coming up on this next tour. You can come. You just got to figure out how to get to each city. 50 cities. At that time we didn't know it. So we had to get a tour bus and just invest. You know what I mean? And we had like to put everything on the line for those 2.5, 3 months and just, hope that it would work out. And from then on, we've been able to maintain, start our own, our company and following with those fans, and we do our own independent touring, and we've been just rocking, man, ever since 2011, and just touring, doing what we got to do.
That's dope. That just goes to show you never know who's watching.
It's absolutely.
You never know who's
that's
watching.
A true fact.
I tell artists all the time, I don't care if it's one person in the crowd or 100,000.
Yeah.
You got to go hard.
You never know.
Because had you looked out in the crowd, I don't know what the crowd looked like,
Yeah.
and you said, man, I don't really that many people here. Nobody gives a fuck. I'm just
Yeah,
doing a
yeah.
mediocre performance. He would have saw you and kept it moving because you not
giving it my
Giving-
all.
giving
yeah,
it your
yeah,
all.
absolutely.
Right.
And I'm grateful, for these opportunities, and for us, it's our job to capitalize on them. You know what I mean?
Right.
And make sure that we take full advantage of everything because you only live once. You know what I mean? So
Right.
we're just trying to make it happen.
Right. So how did you hook up with Gabi?
With Gabby, we've been doing the independent thing for a long time, you know what I mean? And we came across Paulie and Vinny through my guy Rick, and they knew Gabby, you know what I mean? So he listened to the music, we came down, and I just told them everything that we had going on, the way that we've taken it this far,
Right.
on our own. They loved everything we had going on, and they offered to help. And you know, it's just a blessing to have those guys, you know, be able to be in our corner. You know what I mean? So hopefully, I don't even know what's gonna happen in 2017, but we're just gonna keep it moving every day and take advantage of everything. You know.
Right. Now that's major backing. You know.
Yeah.
Especially at this stage in your career, so you know.
Yes, sir.
Don't take that for granted.
Absolutely.
Keep running with it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your music. What music you pushing right now?
We're pushing this different album.
Okay.
It just dropped on December 2nd.
Okay.
You know what I mean? We came in 71 on the SoundScan on our own, independent funded, you know what I mean? It was really, really a good moment, proud moment for me and my team. And it's available on iTunes, Amazon, you know, all digital outlets, flawlessri.com. And it's called It's Different because we're really bringing that different element. You know, it's kind of a combination of new school with that real essence of the old school and just kind of just bringing a new flavor, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, it's really, really dope.
It's different.
Yeah.
Any features on there?
No, I mean, right now at the stage of my career, it's hard to get, you know, some big names on the album. But I feel like once we start reaching more platforms and the music starts getting out there, people are going to definitely want to work with us. So, you know, it's going to be a great opportunity for us to take advantage of that in the future.
Right.
And I appreciate that.
With that being said, I have this segment, right, on this show. It's called On the Spot. This is 50.com. We need to hear some bars. Let's go.
All right, cool. Look. With a definition of what a rap is supposed to be. Bars that'll bodyguard you ever try to get close to me. Stories already roll for me, and they upset, cause I'm blessed for me to be on next. I'm like a rosary, you know the name. These haters loving to use it in vain. Well, I got that after school help. Two to the brain. You like that?
I like that.
FlawlessRI.com, man, you already know. I'll give you a couple bars.
Man. He's flawless.
There's a different album right now, Amazon, iTunes, Google Play. You know, make sure you get that if you want to hear more dope rhymes. And you know what I mean, we're just gonna keep it pushing, baby.
Is there any videos you've done that they can check out?
Yeah, you can check me out on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, at FlawlessRI. You know, on every single one of them outlets, man. It's all at FlawlessRI. So make sure you check me out.
I'm curious, being that you have an appreciation for hip hop before you, who were some of the artists you looked up to coming up before you even got into this? Or what made you want to get involved with hip hop?
Well, for us, it was more or less about coming up in the Upper East Coast. It was always about like New York hip hop because it was so close to home. You know what I mean? So I grew up on Jay, Nas, you know what I mean, DMX, you know what I mean, Dipset, you know, all the like NYC, you know what I mean, really like influenced me. So it was mostly the greats, man. Jay, Nas, you know what I mean, Big L, you know what I mean, Rakim. You know, all the heavy hitters, man, that come out of this NYC era, and New England and hip hop. It's just all kind. Because Rhode Island's so close to NY.
Yeah, you can throw a rock through Rhode Island.
Yeah,
People don't realize it's
so
like
close.
It's like that little on the map.
Yeah,
like literally, it's like it may be 45 minutes long. If you could drive through it, if I'm not mistaken.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
because I had people in New Bedford. Yeah, I had people from New Bedford. Or
nice. That's right. That's right there.
Being from now that you're in Atlanta, right? How does that work?
Well, we're not in Atlanta no more.
Oh, you're not in Atlanta. Well, when you were in Atlanta doing music, obviously, now I'm listening to your style is obviously East Coast influence.
Yeah.
Atlanta's predominantly trapped out. How did you adapt being
in
Atlanta?
That was our advantage, actually.
Oh, that was actually
your advantage. That was the scary part, because I went down there and I'm like, they're either gonna hate me, you know what I mean? They're gonna be like, go back where you came from.
Right.
Or they're gonna love it because it's different. So for us, you know, we were entering competitions and we were winning like a lot of competitions like right away. Like I went from doing 300 kids, you know, in Rhode Island to 20,000 at Phillips Arena with T.I. and Ludacris because we won a big competition. So we're doing 20,000 people in Atlanta. Right. It was just so much more opportunity, and our music was different than everything down there. So it actually worked to our advantage, which was a blessing because I was like, man, I could go down there and they could say, get that out of here, go back up north. You know what I mean? Because at the time it was so dance influenced, and we just brought a different flavor, and it's just good music. You know, I feel like it's undeniable. You know, when we bring.
Are you still doing a 50 city tour with Tech N9ne?
No, that's done.
That's done?
You know, we're doing our own. That was great, man. I learned a lot about the independent game. You know? A lot about not needing, you know, a major label right away. You know what I mean? And building your own entity and your own brand. And that's what we've been doing one day at a time, just building this Rise movement, you know, building this flawless brand and taking it one day at a time. And I think, you know, we're gonna get to that plateau, like, you know, seeing Tech make the Forbes and be able to be on the platforms on his own. He's still his own boss. That allow me to see that vision and say, well, I could do that too. You know, I don't have to sell myself short right now. You know what I mean? For a major deal or, for exposure. We just got to keep it pushing every single day.
Right.
So that's what we do.
Some of your experience came from your father, if I'm not mistaken, right?
He was touring. He was driving tour buses.
For who?
For artists, for all major artists that were on at the time. Nelly, Destiny's Child, just Wu-Tang, everybody that was on. So when I was young in the summer, I was able to go on tour with him like for a couple weeks at a time, in the summer.
Okay.
I got to be around all the celebrities and see what it was like. And it was like a different world.
Right.
And then as I got a little older and I started, life started hitting me. I started using the music as a clutch to get my emotions out.
Right.
And then, it just transformed into a career for me.
Right.
And it's a blessing. It was kind of like foreshadowing, like God was showing me while I was young, like, this is where I'm probably gonna bring you, put you, and see if you like it, And I'm more infatuated with the traveling and seeing the world and seeing the people embrace you for the music that you bring. Like, it's really, really dope to me, is touching the people and being out there and really, really, seeing the world. It's so much bigger than just where you are born. You know what I mean?
Who was the most exciting person you saw, I guess, being a young kid or whatever, and I guess you said Nelly, and you run all these different artists. What was your favorite moment that you can remember during that time of riding around with your father on the tour bus and artists? What artist was it?
I think Beyonce.
You met Beyonce.
Yeah, Beyonce.
Wow.
It was still the Destiny's Child days.
Right.
But she was still bad, boy. You know what I mean? And I was like, I'm a young, teenage kid. I was like, yes, I need to meet her. I was like,
so what was it like when you met her? Like,
I love you.
What was the audience through that when you first met her? How did that happen?
It was the first day of the tour.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I was just catching them, on their off time or whatever. Decided to take a picture with them and just like hug them. They're like, "Oh, you're so cute." I'm like, yeah. It was such a dope experience, And then after that, like you tend to understand the lifestyle, and you don't rush every celebrity you see because there's business to be taken care of and stuff like that. So I started to know when to approach and when not to, and keep my distance when it was needed, and it was a dope experience. As a kid, I would recommend at least one kid to go out for a week and just experience that, see the behind the scenes.
All right, now let's keep it real. Who was a fucking dickhead, an asshole? Because we have them. Iverson?
I met Allen Iverson.
Wow, AI,
right,
come on, bro, the kids.
All right, check it out.
Right,
I was young too.
Iverson?
Man. Yeah, I was like 13, right?
Okay.
We was in Philly. We was on a Frankly Beverly and Maze tour. Frankly Beverly and Maze, like that's, that's old school, right?
Yeah, old school.
So Allen Iverson's walking down the street. I'm like, is that AI? But he looked like he was alone, so I'm like, that ain't AI. And then I seen like the people with him. I'm like, yo, that's AI. I had the AI headband on, right? I'm like,
you had the braids?
No, I didn't have no braids. Nah, chill. So I'm like, yo, I gotta get him. So we go backstage. Obviously, I knew to keep my distance right away. So I'm like watching him, and he's doing his thing, whatever. Then they just like catch a break or whatever. So I go up, I'm like, hey, I'm a huge fan. Can I get a quick picture with you? And he looks at his guy, and he's like, and I got mad because like I was already meeting mad celebrities that were like, Beyonce's like, oh, he's so cute.
Right.
Like, and I'm like, what's that? Like, who do you think you are? So I'm this little kid, like, who do you think you are? You ain't nobody, forget it. I went on the bus, I took my Iverson headband on, I put my Jordan one on, I was like, get this, MJ all the way. And then I guess they must have got on him because he ended up coming on the bus and apologizing for it.
Wow.
But I never forget, and that's what I tell my team, that one experience made me like root against Iverson forever. Like they lose in the playoffs, I'm like, good. When I was 13, you know what I mean? But that's the key, like for this profession. It's like one experience. We're in the middle of a tour, we're meeting people. It's a blur to us. We're not gonna remember that tomorrow, but that person's gonna remember that for the rest of their lives.
Right.
And that one story could turn off 100 people because every time they bring you up, you're like, oh, I met that guy and
right.
And then they're like, really? Oh, I thought he was a nice guy. And that's how simple. Your perception of what kind of person you are gets out. So I always try to make every experience with every fan memorable and warm. So that way, when they remember that 7 weeks later, I got one guy, he's like, oh, I remember, your drummer threw a stick in the crowd and I came up to you and I was like, man, how am I supposed to teach my son how to drum? And he's like, and then you walk through the whole venue looking for your drummer to get me another stick. I love that. And I'm like, I did that? Like, I did? I ran through the venue to find you a stick, bro? thank God I did, because you know what? Even if it was 2-3 years ago, people remember that forever.
Good call.
So I always try to make, you know, any artist coming up, man, make sure every experience is accounted for, because they're gonna remember it more than you are.
Dropping jewels.
Yeah, absolutely,
Dope.
man.
So if anybody want to get in contact with you, you know,
the website, flawlessri.com, @flawlessri, Twitter, Instagram, you know, Facebook @flawlessri, and you know, just continue to search us on everything. We're on Pandora, Spotify, Tidal, you know, every digital outlet available. Flawless RI, man. RI is where I come from. Flawless is the name. I put them together because I want to represent my city wherever I am. So, you know, Flawless RI on all social media. Please follow us. FlawlessRI.com is where you can get the music. A lot of free music on there, too.
Dope.
So, man, I appreciate you having us.
Anything you want to cover that we didn't cover or talk about?
The It's Different album is out now. Available on all digital outlets, man.
There it is,
Keep a lookout for us in 2017, because we're going to be making a lot of noise.
DJ Thorough, Flawless. This is 50.com. When you see us, one knee us. I mean, pay respects.
Hey.
Yeah.